Hey, this is Eric. I want to show you the filter section. Um, as you can see, I don't have a whole lot of custom filters. In fact, I have zero filters right now. But I will get there at some point during this little video. I want to point out a few things, and I think the best place to start is the basic section. Now, the way the filters column works is there's a whole bunch of data, and all of this data can be sectioned or filtered to individual things. Um, as an example, the state that it's in, as a location, or as who is funding the project or the treatment or activity. So, in order to utilize the basic filter functionality, you would want to know what you are trying to answer. So, what kind of question are you trying to answer? Are you looking for your treatments on your refuge? And if that's the case, then the way you would want to do that is go to funding organizations and hit the drop down caret, and then select your agency. And then, as you can see, once you have a selection, it doesn't mean you can't select more. You could select fish or park, right? You can hit the X and get rid of park, or hit the X and get rid of fish. And as you saw, the trash can would go away. I want to find fish stuff, and if that is the only thing that I'm looking for is fish treatments and activities, then I could just leave that there, or I could hit the trash can and it'll go back to a blank slate. But I want to find Fish and Wildlife Service treatments in my region, which is the Northeast region. If I were to change this and add BLM, then the list of treatments or regions would all of a sudden expand greatly. Um, so I want to get rid of that BLM. So each one of the subsequent fields are going to be impacted by what you have selected above it. And then the next thing I want to find is my Blackwater refuge. So this filter right now is going to show a funding agency of fish, Northeast, and Blackwater. And that is the basics of how to use a filter. So then you would just hit apply, and you could see your numbers change after the wheel stops spinning. And you can see, since I didn't select any other options, I get everything that shows up for that exists in the system for Blackwater, Fish and Wildlife Service, in the Northeast region. Now, if I were to make my map look at just the East Coast or the West Coast, the left coast, if you will, then my filters are going to be impacted by that. And so, no, nothing for fish that is also in the Northeast region that is also funded by Blackwater shows up in the high desert, right? So be aware that the map does impact what you're fiscally or what you are able to filter to. Okay. So at whatever point you decide you don't like what you have in your basic filter, you can hit reset filters, and it'll go back to showing you only the things that exist in the map view. The next section of this is the custom section. Now, this is going to be significantly more impactful. You can save, you can edit, you can copy, you can delete filters. You can, so effectively, you could create a filter, leave, go back a couple days later, and then reinstate that filter and see the new information that shows up. Since the IFPRS environment is a live environment, meaning from hour to hour, anybody could add and subtract treatments and activities in the system. Your filter isn't going to give the same results. It will utilize the same function within the system, but your results will be different because things change in the system. It's a petri dish of fuels treatments and activities. So that is a real basic rundown on custom filters. If you wanted to add one, all you would need to do is hit add custom, and then you can name it whatever you need to name it. This filter operator is how individual sets function amongst themselves, and then the set operator is how each individual expression functions within its set. So I want to see things that are a class actual, and then I also want to see a class actual treatment, and I want to make this say is. And now I have my first operator, set operator. Now the thing that it is that it's going to cause issues is that it is a class has got to be activity, and it's also got to be a treatment, and that doesn't exist, right? So I need to switch this to or, and now I will get everything that is an actual activity or an actual treatment, and then I can name this actuals. But on top of that, I also want to see only the things that exist in a specific funding region, which is the um, Southeast region. Now, I can make sure that this is exactly the region that I want to by adding another field, and that is going to be NPS, and that will ensure that I'm only going to see the actual activities and treatments that exist within the southeast of the National Park Service. And you can read that as a sentence up here. Actuals, and then I'm going to name it if I wanted to, I could put a 1 in front of this, and then I would ensure that it would show up at the top of my custom filter list. And I can hit save, and there is my new filter, and it isn't going to work at all because I am not in the southeast, right? And we'll see nothing. But if I change my map view, I should get some results. And what's interesting is that this is staging, and so people haven't been doing any actualizations in there. So if I wanted to edit this, I could change this to Fish and Wildlife Service. I could get rid of this one completely, and now I'm going to look at everything within the Fish and Wildlife Service. Hit apply. And now I've got some results. If I don't like this anymore, I can hit the trash can and delete it. If I want to make a copy of it, I can hit the arrow, and then it comes up with a copy of, and I can rename it and make it what I want it to be. I can hit close, and then if I were to hit this close, remove all custom filters, everything in this list is going to be gone. So if that's not what I want to do, you shouldn't do that. If you want to reset your filters, just so you don't want to delete them, but you also don't want them to be filtering to anything anymore, you can hit reset filters, and this reset filter will do in the basic will reset the custom filters as well. If you have basic filters engaged in the basics filter side, and you also want to do its own custom filter, you can. The custom and the basic don't interact at all. They each apply their own set of equations and stuff. They're independent of each other. At any point that you make a change, you're going to have to hit apply, and that will give you your results. And then you can look in your summary cards, and you can see all the things that show up as actuals. Okay, that is filters. Good luck.